weren't stable. Plus, the conversation muffled the sound of the key scraping futilely against the metal lock behind his back. A few of the heads in the wet camp turned to watch the exchange. Xander leaned back, battling with his composure. I might lose my command, but I'll return to my bunk with our brothers of the mess and rest well after seeing your body hang from a noose. He shook his head. I knew you had a strange fascination with that slave, that wolf. I just didn't realize your treason extended to all the Nameless inside the gate. Just yesterday, Gryphon had inadvertently helped hundreds of Nameless slaves flee the massive walls of Ramsgate. To slow the Ram pursuit, he disabled the only exit, a gate so large it required 40 Nameless to open it. Even though only a fraction of the Nameless slaves escaped, it would be days before the chain connecting the gate to the counterweight could be repaired. The key finally slipped into the lock. Gryphon let his head fall back just a fraction and closed his eyes in relief. Xander's hate-filled gaze greeted him as he opened his eyes, but that didn't stop him from turning the key. The lock clicked open, the sound lost in the rain. With one hand free, Gryphon still kept both hands behind his back, though he relaxed his shoulders some to alleviate the ache from being bound. The metal key in Gryphon's hand was warm. The grooves pressed uncomfortably into his palm, but Gryphon didn't loosen his hold, refusing to let go of the hope Ajax had given him. Not only was the key his only chance of escaping the certain death that awaited him inside the giant walls of his clan, but it also represented a dim hope that Zoe was still alive, that Ajax, Gryphon's best friend, hadn't followed through with Xander's order to find and kill her and the others after Gryphon's capture. The vivid scenes of the morning replayed in Gryphon's mind again and again. Everyone asleep under the tree except Zoe and Gryphon. Rams circling the perimeter of the giant fir like bloodhounds sniffing out prey. Zoe taking his hand, pretending to be brave even though her eyes, they were always so easy to read, proved it a lie. Her warm lips, the feel of her body pressed against his. A shudder that had nothing to do with the cold ran up Gryphon's back. He'd been captured not far from the tree, trying to lead the ram away from the people he cared for most. If only he could ask Ajax if they were alive, though the chances were as likely as staying dry in this storm. Ajax had a family to protect, and the penalty for deceiving his captain was as deadly as deceiving Chief Barnabas himself. Dangerous. Lightning struck not far away, brightening half of Xander's face in the fast-approaching darkness. Come back to me, Zoe had said, just before she'd leaned into him, touching her soft lips to his. Gryphon slid the key into the second lock. He chewed on the inside of his lip until he tasted blood. He fought the urge to spit in Xander's face, to unlock the chains binding his wrist and strangle him with his bare hands. He was sure he could finish the job before he took a spear to the gut. It felt like the only way to quench the hungry blackness that consumed his insides. Gryphon hung his head, remembering the promise he made to Zoe before they separated. Whether Zoe was alive or not, he needed to survive to warn the Raven clan of an impending attack. Countless lives would be spared if the Raven had time to flee the nest before the ram arrived. Getting himself killed wouldn't serve them, even if it meant an escape from the overwhelming ache in his chest. Thunder rolled again. Xander stared. Gryphon prayed for a miracle and hoped he deserved one. He turned the key. The lock clicked open, but his manacles clattered to the ground before he could catch them. We're not waking him. Zoe's head throbbed as she held Joshua's wrist to check his pulse for the 10th time in as many minutes. The boy lay unconscious, but his heart beat a steady rhythm. Zoe needed to feel that pulse. It was her tether to sanity. The sound of ram fists connecting with Gryphon's body, the muffled grunts betraying his pain. They still echoed in her mind when she didn't check her thoughts. From her hiding place, she hadn't seen Gryphon's capture, but she had heard. She'd wondered.